We first met this talented woman on the first season of Tusker Project Fame. And while she didn't quite win that season, she won a lot of hearts across the region. Her music certainly took off and officially put her on the map. And then she disappeared. However, she's all set to make a new beginning in Kenya. We live out loud with Nakaya next. Hello and welcome to Sheila Lives Out Loud. My name is Sheila Mwanyega and it's a pleasure to welcome you to my channel. Please click subscribe and hit notifications, and you can share whatever you like from this video and of course my entire channel. If you see something that will inspire, motivate and just make somebody's day, please go ahead, do so. And we are living out loud at the waterfront. Karen, you've arrived. This is East Africa's premier mall. Do pop in and have a fantastic time out. And our guest today is the one, the only Nakaya. You know, Nakaya, when I say your name, I expect applause and I expect to see you walking on stage with a microphone. Whoa. And I expect to see you singing something and then Judge Ian saying something. Yeah.
That's really catching an attitude for that.
And, no, Nakaya, if ever there was a Queen of Fierce on TPF.
Oh.
In case you're just joining us and wondering what TPF is, it was a music reality TV show called Tusker Project Fame that was broadcast across East Africa. I mean, as far as, 6 East African countries live. Yeah. I mean, it grew and grew and grew and grew and grew.
Yeah.
And you were right there for the first season.
Yeah, when it was just 3 countries, I think.
Yeah, when it was just 3 countries, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, and you just left a mark.
I'm glad I did. I mean, it has been a blessing since then. I think my career started from that. My musical career started from Project Fame. So I'm forever thankful for that show.
But let's go back to ground zero with that. Whatever made you decide, I'm actually going to audition? Because it was the first time anything like that was ever happening, not just in Kenya, but across East Africa. So what drove you to do it?
Well, I've always loved singing. And when we saw the adverts in the newspapers back then, I felt it in my heart that this is it. This is going to be the stepping stone for you. And my sister at the time was very supportive of it, and they pushed me to go audition, and it just, I mean, everything started rolling from there.
Did you ever think that you were not going to cross that finish line? Because if ever there was a person who was so confident about their skills, it was you. I mean, the first time I met you, I was like, I think she's the winner. You know?
Well, you have your doubts from time to time, but I truly believed that I was going to win, or if I wouldn't win, I would get to a point that is so close that would change my life. The point was not winning, the point was capturing as much as you can and making a big impact in that whole show to create a career out of it.
And you were able to create a career. You didn't win in that season, much to the dismay of thousands across East Africa, but you still went on and did something. How did you feel when, you know, they evicted you from the house? How was that?
Funny story, I was actually relieved because we'd been there for 7, I was there for 7 weeks. And I was so tired. I was out of deodorant. I mean, everything was...
What, you were out of deodorant?
Yes, and that was just...
Are you trying to tell us you got out to go and buy deodorant?
I need someone to buy me deodorant. I remember that being so frustrating to me. And I was just done. At that point, and you know, you're locked up. You don't know what the public thinks. After leaving that place, then I realized, oh my God, I'm big.
Yeah, big brand names. I mean, household names.
Yes,
everybody was tuning in to see you. And did you wish that you could have just been a bit more stronger towards the end? Or did you feel like you did the very best that you could?
I feel both ways. There's moments where I feel like I should have stuck it out. And there's moments where I feel, you know what, I did my best, I ran my race, and that's it.
And speaking about, you know, winning a competition is great. But a lot of people who've been on the show went on to win the show, but then that's pretty much where their career ended for quite a few. And I'm not saying, you know, Valerie's gone on to do some amazing things with her life, but subsequent winners, there's some of them who nobody even remembers. But your career took off. When you went back home, you looked for a man called Ambrose. Tell us about that, when you transitioned back and you really got the hit of your life.
Funny story, I didn't even think it was a hit because I went back to where I lived and there was a studio around in the neighborhood. So there's this guy who always who played the guitar, and I asked him to come over for lunch, and he was playing the guitar, and we just got to writing. The next day we went, recorded Mr. Politician. I didn't think anything of it. After a couple of weeks, Ambrose was passing through Arusha to Dar, and we invited him up, and he heard the song and thought, okay, let me put a beat onto it, because it was just me and the guitar. It was acoustic, and we forgot about it. So this place that has a studio is actually a center, the UAACC. So M1 from Dem Press was passing through Arusha, and he came to the studio, and I said, you know what, I have this song, could you please spit some bars? And he did. So I sent the song to Dar, and Ambrose did such an amazing job, I had to go to Dar and just do the hook, and that was it. We didn't think it was going to hit as much as it did. I never thought that that would be the song that I would identify with, or people would see me and think, you're the Mr. Politician guy. Yeah. You know, and back home they'd just be, hey, Mr. Politician. Say, well, I'm a miss, but
singer, Mwimbaji, vocals.
I never in a million years would have thought that that would be the song that
would put you on the map. I mean, it went as far as getting a nomination for the MTV Africa Music Awards. Yeah. And that's just one of the award nominations that you got, and I'm sure there were a few that you won.
There was a few.
How did that make you feel? Was it validation? Did it make you feel like, yes, I knew I'd show you people what I'm about?
Well, it wasn't really validation for me. My validation is still ongoing, because there's no place that I'll set foot at where someone won't
remember you and say,
and actually I love that song, and that's, you know, it's not about I know you know. I love that song, and that was it. That was it really feels nice, and that's my sense of validation.
So here you are, you're doing what you've always wanted to do. You've got a hit that's across not just, you know, East Africa, but across Africa, and it resonates, because I mean, if you look at some of our politicians, you pretty much described a whole bunch that we will not name publicly, but when we watch the song and the video, we see them.
Yes.
What happened, Nakaya? Then you disappeared. Where did you go?
Well, like I said, I didn't have very big expectations with that, and I like to say that life happened. It was a little overwhelming, because I just, after Project Fame, I went there being a no one, and then I was a household name, and then boom, you have number one here, number one here, number it was just, it was so much at once, and I was young. I mean, I didn't have anyone to mentor me into this industry, to teach me the rights and wrongs. We were all going at it blindly. I feel like I didn't understand the business as much as I should have. I wasn't ready emotionally, physically, mentally to handle that. And so at some point I wanted to take a break. I felt like, you know, this is not for me. I can't do this.
It was too much.
Yes. And during that break, then I got pregnant, and
Wow. So you've got a baby.
Yes,
How old is the baby?
I have a son, Kai. His name is Kai. He's 4.
Wow.
Yes.
I've seen his pictures on the ground.
He's an amazing boy.
I definitely follow you, and I see his progress, and he looks so much like you.
He does.
He really does.
You should
does
see
he
his
like
dad.
to sing?
He does. Actually, he does. He sings with these little songs. That, he does. And he loves drums.
So in listening to you, I get the feeling that you were very young when all of this was happening to you. And then, of course, you become a mother, and you're raising your child, and you step back and started a business.
Yes.
What happened there? Because I'm thinking, if you're struggling with understanding things, then you hire managers, or you look for people who know what they're doing. But you decided, no, I'm going to do something else. Where did that come from?
I'd had enough. I wanted to find myself. I wanted a space to do my own thing. It was a little overwhelming. There was just so much going on, tabloids, this, that. And half of it was not true. You need to have thick skin for
to survive
that industry.
Yes.
I was not ready at that time. That was not it was not my moment. So I didn't really want any manager. I didn't want anything. I just wanted something
to go and be and do
Yes.
something else. So
Yes.
what did you do?
I started a catering business and a marketing and events company.
But then somewhere along the way, things changed again.
Yes, but such is life. I mean, things have to keep changing, and that's what builds us, and that's what gives us character and gives us stories and history and experience. And as a woman, I mean, you must know that we have seasons. Things change when you have a small child.
You can't always be the
Yeah,
same
you have a
person.
small child, you want to
Yeah.
be at home all the time, you want to take care of them. They grow up a little bit and you want to explore life. You want new beginnings, you
Right.
want something different.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I like to look at myself as a butterfly.
You're constantly
Yes.
transforming
Yes, I do.
and morphing.
Yeah.
It's interesting, you know, the name of our conversation, the title of this episode is New Beginnings.
Yeah.
And your new beginnings are not just small. You're even going to leave Tanzania. You're sure that you would like to start a new chapter and start that chapter here in
Yes.
Kenya.
Yes.
Why?
For me, Kenya is like coming back home. Growing up here and being in this culture and having my own people and people who have the same your way of thinking and everything, after a while you miss that. I mean, I love my country as well. I love my people and everything, but I feel like now it's time for me to grow. Arusha is a beautiful place, but it's also a very small town. What I want to do with my life, I don't feel like I can do it there at this time. So I felt like, you know what, why not, you know, give my son a different experience, give him what I had growing up. And that's Kenya.
Growing up in Kenya.
Yes.
And what are you going to do? What are your plans? Would you like to go back to music?
I would like to go back to music, definitely. I also want to do my catering business here as well. Like I said, I have a company in Tanzania that is, one of the branches is catering.
Right.
And I do private parties and high-end catering. So I would like to try that here, you know, do some of our food here.
Yeah.
And see how that goes.
You've always been bold. You've always been the one who does things most people only think about doing.
Yes.
And only dream about doing. What are your fears, Nakaya? Because I'm just thinking, for many women and men, the idea of saying, "Mechoka hapa basi, I'm going to go and try and do something different," not just in another town, but in another country. But you're going to crossing another country. You're not just starting in another town. You're leaving. And is there anything Nakaya fears? Is there anything you're afraid of?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I'm a human being and a woman and a single mother. So I fear a lot. But I also know for sure that fear is just an emotion. What comes out of it? I mean, even if I fear, then what? Nafanyaje? I need to set a proper example for my son who will be a man, and he needs to understand that you need to take on your fears by the horns. You need to take the world as it is. I mean, you have to soldier on. You can't, I can't be that example to him and to people who actually look up to me. I just can't let that hold me back.
Right.
Failing is not an option at this point.
Yeah.
I just have to do it.
The
Yes.
responsibility of raising, you know, your son on your own. I'm sure you've got family supporting. You've always had a very close-knit family.
Yes.
And I'm sure they're really going to miss you. What do they say about the move? What do they think?
Well, my parents are in Arusha with me, and they have been so instrumental in raising my son. I mean, I know it pains them and they will miss us a lot, but you do know that Arusha is just 3 hours from here.
It's not that far. That's true.
And they want the best for me, you know. And we always live by the principle that if this path is not taking you anywhere, then take another path. Don't be ashamed. Don't overthink it. If I'm not, I want to go to Karen. This is not taking me to Karen. I'll take another bypass that will take me to Karen, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yes.
You're ready to go and venture forward and see what's up. Now, looking at the music landscape, a lot has changed since
has.
TPF1.
Yes.
There are a lot of new producers. There are a lot of new singers as well. If you're going to get back into a studio, have you got any, you know, people that you're thinking, I'd like to work with this person, I'd like to work with this. Are there
Yes.
people that you'd
Yes,
like
I
to
mean, there's
reconnect with or
people-
work with?
Yes, absolutely. There's people that I know from back then that I would love, and I am comfortable approaching. One of the people that I want to meet and approach is Ted. I feel like he has an understanding of me. I mean, I want to try new people.
Yeah.
And that's why I have people like you probably introduce me to this person. Or
you're open
or
to trying
person.
different things right now.
I mean, isn't that life though?
Yeah.
Isn't that life? Do you really want to be cooped up with the same people that you know and people that you're comfortable with? You try different things.
One of the worst things that you could ever do in your life is
Yes.
not try something.
Yes. And it's always such a refreshing feeling to begin, to start. It's exciting, it's nice, you have so much strength, you have energy. So I love new beginnings, I love everything new. Once it starts getting stale,
It's time for the next.
yes,
It's time to keep it fresh and time to keep it moving.
absolutely, keep it moving.
Nakaya, if only I could just make you walk on a stage with a microphone, but I'm sure we're going to see that happen
Yes,
soon.
it will happen.
Thank
It
you
will
for
happen.
making the time. You came
Thank
all
you.
the way just to sit with me.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
are my sister. You are my friend. Oh,
together.
I'm so proud of you and how far you've come.
Thank you.
And I
And I'm
know
proud
you
of
are
you. I
going to
mean,
do
look
well.
at you.
We're all growing,
Yes.
just like you said, we're evolving.
Yes, we are.
And when you get a bit stale, you step it up and move it to the next.
Keep it stepping, darling. Keep it stepping.
All right then, I know you're on social media, so will you allow us to share some of your handles so that
Yes.
all your wonderful fans can
Absolutely.
catch up with you again and show you some support and love.
Yes.
Most importantly, buy the album or the single when it comes through.
Yes.
Nakaya Sumari, all the best. Love to you, baby.
Thank you for
Tell him
having
Auntie
me.
She said, what's up? I can't wait
You'll
for
see
him to
him
be
soon,
in the
yeah.
city. Check out our social media handles. You'll be catching up with all our exploits there. So remember to catch up with us on our social media handles, and it's going to be great, and you can find out more about Nakaya there. We're all set to wind up now. It's that fast how time flies when you're having fun. Thank you for watching this episode. We are at the Waterfront Karen, East Africa's premier mall. Make sure you pop in and spend a great day out with friends and family and yourself as well. Until we catch up in the next episode, bye for now and live out loud, boldly, and sing while you're at it. Nakaya.